I think we should be live now. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. So here I am with yet another video for you. I've been receiving a lot of questions on the topic of boosting your productivity. So I thought to share a couple of strategies, a couple of principles, a couple of rules with you that are going to help you to indeed boost your productivity at work, but also in your private life. These are some strategies that I'm using with my coaching clients. So I'm here to share them with you because I think they're going to be very helpful to the whole group. Okay. So let's think about your current situation at the moment. So what I hear often and very, very commonly is that people are very busy. A lot of people are kind of busy for the sake of being busy because it's trendy to be busy. Everybody is busy with something. So you're being busy, but you aren't 100% sure what are you exactly being busy with, right? And that also transfers in your work life. So people tend to work long hours, but they're forgetting that working long hours doesn't mean you are being more productive, and it doesn't mean that you are being more effective, and it doesn't mean that you're getting more work done. All right. So instead of working long hours, I want to challenge you to think about what are you doing exactly during those hours, right? So you want to break those hours down and you want to see what are you actually spending your time on and how much are those activities indeed pushing you and helping you to move forward. Okay. The second very common thing is dealing with too many things at once, right? So we are trying to kind of do everything at once as much as we can because we think that if we are doing more at once, we're going to accomplish more, which is exactly the opposite what's happening, right? Those of you who have been following me continuously know that I love to say that the best way to do nothing is to try to do everything at once, and this is exactly what applies to this to this really kind of challenge now, right? Is that dealing with too many things at once not only will make you at the end of the day not achieve a lot at all, it's also going to jeopardize on the quality of the work that you're doing and on the value that you are providing. Okay, so then putting too much time and energy in things that aren't pushing you forward, that don't help you, right? That are draining your energy. And this also actually really aligns with people. So you are getting too distracted but by maybe requests from everyone and everything around you that you forget to, or not really forget, but you have no time and energy left to focus on your own tasks, on your own activities, and on the important things that are going to, again, help you move forward. You're all over the place, right? That ties nicely with dealing with too many things at once. From trying to do everything, you lose track. You have no idea what's going on anymore. You don't know where to start. You don't know what you've done so far. It's hard for you to track the progress, right? And that leads me to another point, which is you are getting frustrated because of no progress, because you can't see the clear progress. So you're getting more frustrated with like, okay, so the whole day went by. I was busy the whole day. I was working the whole day, but what did I actually achieve? Right? And also another thing that I see here is that maybe there is progress, but you don't know how to track that progress. So it's very important to put different strategies in place that are going to help you to track the progress, right? Of how did your day go by? What did you achieve in that day? What went well? What didn't go that well? And so forth, right? We're going to talk about that later in the video today. Next is you're getting stressed and overwhelmed with everything that's happening, right? Because if you're constantly busy, if you're constantly giving your energy and time, if you're putting yourself out there and you have no time to recharge yourself, right? Then of course you're going to be more stressed, more overwhelmed, more tired, and that is going to have a strong impact on your productivity and performance. The next thing I hear often is feeling guilty about saying no, right? We think that if we say yes to everything, we're going to be more liked, we're going to be more respected, people are going to be coming back to us, they're going to love us, and so on, right? But again, that exactly equals to you being drained and you not having time and energy and focus to give the best of yourself, right? And the overall idea of I need to work more, I need to work harder, I need to work longer, I need to be constantly there, right? This idea of feeling guilty if you aren't there, the idea of feeling guilty if you aren't working, right? And forgetting the idea that rest is also a form of work. Not only is it a form of work, but it's also a necessity. It's absolute must for your productivity at work. So where do you wish to be? Right? Like, so this is where you are now, but where do you want to be, right? You want to be in a place where there is no stress. I mean, stress is not always bad, right? This is something I want to point out as well, right? Like, a little bit of stress can be healthy, right? Because stress can be something that pushes us forward, keeps us on our toes, right? But being under constant heavy stress for a long time is definitely not sustainable, and it's not healthy, and it's definitely going to have certain consequences on your overall well-being. Okay, you want to have a distraction-free environment, or at least you want to create an environment that has least distractions possible. Okay, because anything else that kind of takes your focus from the task that you need to be focusing on shouldn't be there. Anything that doesn't support you, anything that doesn't align with you, anything that drains you, consumes your energy, time, and doesn't bring anything to you needs to be replaced. You need to be creating an environment that empowers you. And this is actually the video that I spoke about couple of days or a week ago, right? Where I was talking about key essential areas to success, which are your beliefs and your thoughts, which are your habits, which are people who surround you, and your environment, right? And when I was talking about the environment, I was talking about creating a distraction-free environment, right? A beautiful environment that inspires you, that boosts your creativity, and that allows you to focus on important things. You want to have focus and clarity about what you're working towards, right? That's why setting goals is so important, because if you don't know where you're going to, how will you get there, right? We're going to talk about that in a minute. You want to have a clear action plan, but you can't have a clear action plan unless you have a clear goal, right? You can't go to your how to get somewhere if you don't have your where do I want to get to at first place. You want to have respect at work, but respect at work doesn't come from saying yes to everything and everyone, right? Respect at work comes initially, or respect anywhere comes from you respecting yourself, you respecting your time, you respecting your energy, and you protecting your focus, time, and energy. This is where respect comes from, right? It's an inner work, not something to be found somewhere. All right. You want to have a regular working hours, right? You want to have a work-life balance. You want to have a life that it's not only centered around one specific thing. You want it to be balanced across different aspects. So you want to have work time, quality work time. You want to have a quality private time. You want to have quality hobby time. You want to have a quality family time. You want to have quality me time, right? You want to arrange, or you want to come to the point where you have quality time or balanced time between different aspects or areas of your life. You want to be able to make confident decisions, and more than just making decisions, you want to make sure you stick to those decisions. Firstly and foremost, you want to make sure that you are the one who makes your decisions, that you don't have someone who is making decisions for you, right? Because worse than not making decisions is kind of going around or how can I say, running behind someone else's decisions, right? You're following decisions that been made on behalf of you. You want to be the one in charge, because you are the one in charge. You are the one in control, and you want to really own your decisions. You want to stick to your decisions, and you want to follow through your decisions. Even if that turns out to be a wrong decision, there is still a lot to learn from it, okay? So let's think about some strategies that I prepared here for you that can help you to boost your productivity, that have been proven to help with boosting productivity, that I have been using, that my clients have been using, that people that have been coaching, and in general, the people that have been communicating my ideas and thoughts have been using, and there is a lot of positive feedback. So the first one is really set weekly and daily goals. All right, so now, I made like a short analogy here, and that is, imagine getting in your car, right? So you are just sitting in your car and you're like, yeah, let me just go somewhere. All right, so what happens is that at the beginning, it might be fun, right? You're on a road trip, you're watching around, there is a lot of new environment around you, nature, it's so beautiful. Maybe you meet some people on your way, right? But after some time, that fun thing kind of vanishes, right? Because what happens is that you start driving and driving and driving, and that becomes really expensive. It becomes focus expensive, it becomes energy expensive, it becomes time expensive, it becomes money expensive, right? Because what happens is that you find yourself driving around, but where are you going to, right? What's the point really of this driving around, right? So, and the same really happens with your goals. If you don't get clear about your goals, what happens is that you are so easily distracted by everything that kind of comes around you. You find yourself to be jumping from one task to another. You find yourself saying yes to everything and everyone around you. You get easily distracted. You kind of run after shiny objects, right? You are unable to say no because you don't know what your priorities are. So maybe suddenly everything seems important. Everything seems urgent to you. What leads again to you feeling drained, you feeling exhausted, you don't have any time, right? This is where this excuse of I don't have time comes in handy. And ultimately, your results don't meet expectations that you might have set for yourself or that somebody else might have set for yourself, right? So as long as you aren't clear on where you're going to, you are going to be confused. And as long as you are confused, you aren't going to be able to take effective action steps. You won't be able to move towards a specific destination because you don't know what the destination is, right? So what you can start doing, if you haven't been doing it already, is at the beginning of each week, or actually, let's say on Saturday or on Sunday, spend 1 to 2 hours, sit down with yourself, okay, and think about what are the goals that I want to set for myself for the next week. And make sure when you are setting those goals, you don't want to set hundreds of goals because it's not realistic. You are going to achieve hundreds of goals in 7 days. All right. What you want to do is think about what are the 3 big professional goals that you want to set for yourself, maximum 3, okay? And think about what are maximum 3 private goals that you want to set for yourself for the upcoming week. Okay, so once you have those big goals, you want to reverse engineer them, just like we did for quarterly planning, just like I have been teaching you so far, right? So you have a big goal, then you reverse engineer it and think about, okay, so what do I need to be doing every single day in order for me to get to where I want to be at the end of the week, okay? Before you even go to your daily tasks, what I forgot to mention, and that's a very, very important part, that is whatever you want to achieve by the end of the next week, you want to have a clear intention in your mind. Why do I want to achieve that? Why is that important to you? What difference will it make for me, for my life, for people around you, for my success, for my results, for my career, for my private life, if I achieved those goals? Okay, and then once you have those, again, we go to setting daily mini goals that are going to help you to get your big goals, and then you get to your tasks, daily tasks. What do I need to be doing? Creating your to-do list and then really following strictly to that to-do list. If you haven't downloaded my weekly planner yet, if you haven't had the chance to get a copy of it, let me know. I'm going to send you a free copy of the worksheet. It's awesome, it's amazing, and it's really step by step what you need to be doing. You literally just need to sit down and do thinking about your goals and then just follow the guidelines of the worksheet. It's very, very helpful and it's really life-changing. The second important strategy to keep in mind is that no matter how much you might feel kind of, I need to do a lot at once, don't do it. One step at a time, one task at a time, right? Because there is this idea of I'm great in multitasking. What actually happens when you multitask, right? So what happens is that you're switching your focus from one to the other, from one to the other. And every time you go kind of back to the other task, you need some time to kind of switch your mind back to that task, right? So you're wasting a lot of your time and a lot of your energy, all right? So you spend more time working on those tasks naturally, Okay, and what happens is that you also compromise on the quality, because again, if you're trying to be everywhere at all times, and if you're trying to do so many things at once, how can you ensure 100% quality to those tasks that you are performing? So you really want to be all in with what you're doing now, and then go back to the next one. Sure, of course, some tasks you can't complete at that point, all right? So then do whatever you can do about that, move from that one, complete the other one, and then come back to the second one or the first one, right? Once you are done with it. But what you want to avoid is kind of starting, then stopping, then starting something new, then stopping, then starting something new. Because what happens is that you started everything, but you didn't complete anything. Okay, so complete something and then move to the next one, because that's going to have also very kind of psychologically strong impact on you. Like, oh, right, I did it, done. Let me move to the next one. Let me move to the next one, right? Because then when you look back, you're going to be like, okay, so I achieved a lot. You're going to get also boost in your confidence, and it's going to help again with moving forward. All right. So by focusing on less, you will actually achieve more, right? Because all your energy, all your time, all your focus is on that one task in front of you, because you gave the best, because you know you were all in it. You kind of stand behind your work because you know it's the quality work, and then you move to the next one. Let me know, does this make sense? Let me know, how does this sound to you? Let me know, what is your experience when you're trying to kind of do all at once versus when you were doing one thing, then moving to another one, then to another one. How did that make you feel? What was the difference, right? Feel free to write it down in the comments. A sip of my coffee. All right, the next one. Get comfortable with saying no, right? We can't please everyone. There will always be someone who doesn't like you, who doesn't respect you, who thinks that whatever you're saying is not correct, who doesn't align with you, and that is fine, right? Like, we aren't there to make everyone and everybody happy around us. Sure, we want to make sure that we're doing our good, that we are providing value, that we are being our authentic selves, right? But we cannot influence if somebody's going to like it or not, right? So there is no point of kind of, changing your opinions and your ideas and your values as the wind blows. All right. So setting your goals will help you in determining what is important, what is not important. Having clear values is going to help you to, again, decide as well what is important, what is not important. And everything else, again, that doesn't serve you, that doesn't empower you, that doesn't align with you, you can say no to. And there is nothing to feel guilty about, right? Because by saying no, by setting clear boundaries, you are showing your respect to yourself. You're showing that you appreciate and love your time, your energy, that you're protective over it. And if you position yourself in that way, others will automatically do it too, right? So again, of course, you want to be doing good. Of course, you want to be serving others. Of course, you want to be there for them. Of course, you want to help them. That has nothing to do with you saying no, right? Saying no and setting boundaries has all to do with, again, having clear ideas in your mind, having your clear goals, having your clear values, and knowing what is important, what's urgent, and everything else that doesn't empower you and help you to grow needs to be changed, needs to be replaced, needs to be taken care of. Take breaks. All right, I mentioned it before. The work and rest are both essential, of course, to being more productive and to have high performance, right? Working long hours is not sustainable. It's not sustainable long term. So instead of working 12 hours per day, or if you are doing that already, right, reflect on what are you doing during those 12 hours? How much or how are you spending on 1 hour basis, and how productive actually are you? How much work do you actually get done? All right. What I like to teach in my coaching sessions, as well as obviously when talking with you here in the group, is that you want to be taking a lot of small breaks throughout the day. Okay, so ideally you want to, let's say, be working 1 hour, then you want to take 5 to 10 minute break. Then you want to be working for 1 hour, then you want to be taking 5 to 10 minute break, right? Then you want to have your lunch time. You want to have your proper lunch time where you sit down, where you have your lunch, where you are busy with some other thoughts. You aren't talking about work, right? And then you get back to it. It's going to increase your productivity so much, rather than sitting at your laptop all day and kind of, I need to do it, I must do it, I must force myself, right, to now come up with a new idea or something. Sure, sometimes we need to do that, but if you're doing that more often than not, then I would suggest reviewing a bit what's going on and how can you improve it, right? So ideally, when you are taking those breaks, you want to really distance yourself from your desk. You want to stand up, you want to go out for some fresh air, you want to go and have a coffee, you want to go and have a short chat with your colleague, you want to get some fresh air, you want to whatever, but you want to change the environment. You want to physically distance yourself from where you are at the moment. All right. So this one is not for everyone. This one is actually something that I am talking about from my personal experience. So when I used to work in an office, like 9 to 5 office environment, really, I was always the first one in the office, not because I wanted, like I had to be, but because I really wanted to be, because that early in the morning, I had my peace, I had my quiet, I had kind of the office for myself. I used to work in sales, right? So we had a sales floor. So it was an open office space where we were all in the same area, right? So sometimes it was a bit more difficult to focus. So I liked to be the first one in the office and use that time to do the hardest tasks and the tasks that really require the most of my energy, the most of my focus, and do them first thing in the morning. All right, so that really allowed me to be more productive, to do a lot of work before actually any of my colleagues has even come to the office, right? And it also helped me to leave the office on time, right? So for me, it wasn't a problem to come early in the morning and work from very early, but for me, it was a problem to stay longer. I never really liked to stay longer in the office because I always wanted to have my evenings kind of free for myself. But in order for me to do that, I needed to do something else. So I organized myself in a different time. This doesn't have to be for you the same, all right? But what I would invite you to do is think about what are your most productive hours. And you want to use those most productive hours for doing the hardest, the most difficult tasks, and the tasks that require the most of your focus, your attention, your time, your energy, and so on. You don't want to lose or waste those highly productive hours for yourself and spend them, I don't know, checking your Facebook and Instagram or chatting about some not so important things. So you want to use them to the best. And it doesn't always have to be or only on your work, right? It can be on your personal development, right? It can be on learning something new. It can be on exercising. It can be on planning your future. It can be on thinking. It can be on journaling, whatever it is, whatever means to you the most and whatever helps you and pushes you forward. All right. Some additional strategy that I have here for you. Set an effective morning routine. Now, a lot of you have heard me talking about the importance of morning routine because that first hour that you spend in the morning, or a bit less than that first hour, is basically setting yourself up for a successful day. So you want to make sure that the things that you do in the morning are helping you and empowering you, are giving you energy and are setting you in the positive spirit to have the best day. Okay, it has been scientifically proven. There is a lot of research made out there that exercising helps with boosting productivity, right? Exercise really really sets you up for more energy, for more kind of adrenaline, for better concentration, better focus. So you want to think about, for example, implementing exercising. Another thing that I implement in the morning is journaling. Right? I like to sit down. I like to spend time journaling. I like to do the gratitude exercise, the things that I'm grateful for in my life. And I like to reflect on what are the 3 things that happened yesterday that went well. Right? So this is also helping me to, again, switch to positive thinking and switch to, okay, this is what happened yesterday. This was great. Now, what can I do to make it even better today? Because you always want to be a bit better. right? And the third thing that I like to do in the morning is learning something new. I was talking to you about Robin Sharma and about the 5 a.m. club, the book that I highly advise you to read. It's great. And he's talking inside of that book about 20-20-20 formula, which is exactly what I'm sharing with you now, which is 20 minutes of exercise in the morning, 20 minutes of journaling, and 20 minutes of learning something new. So you want to spend each day learning something new about your craft or about anything that you're interested in, that is, again, making you a better person, that is contributing to your growth, your development, okay? Then the two second and third principle are actually things that I came up with. These are the strategies that I teach. So the first one is 2Q importance rule. Okay, so this is a very simple and yet very powerful technique. And this is essentially asking yourself two questions. All right, when you find yourself that you are spending your time or spending your energy or spending your money or being in a situation that you aren't sure how it is contributing you, is you can ask yourself, is this important for my growth? Is this important for my development? Is this important for me to become a better person? Is this important for me to help others become a better person? This is the first question you want to ask yourself. And then the second question you want to ask yourself is this really important? And just by adding this word really, everything changes. So very, very commonly is that even if the answer to the first question is yes, when you ask yourself, is this really important, right? The answer is actually it's not. And then you want to ask, okay, so what can I do instead? And yes, no principle is really all about setting non-negotiables for yourself and then setting negotiables, so to say, for yourself, right? So again, in any situation you might be, ask yourself, what are my absolute non-negotiables in this situation? So what are the things that I'm going to stick to no matter what, right? And this aligns very nicely with your values and with your kind of core life principles. And then you want to think about, what are the things that I'm open to negotiating about? What are the things that I'm a bit flexible about? What are the things that I'm open to kind of finding the middle road with somebody? Okay. So let me know what you think about this. Let me know, how do you keep your productivity levels high? Let me know, what can you add to this list? These are just some of the productivity methods that are on top of my mind that I wanted to share with you. Again, this is a very common question. This is also obviously one of the most common questions that I work on with my clients. So feel free to comment, feel free to share, feel free to get in touch with me if you have any questions. If you're currently in a situation that you aren't really sure how to go about, if you are having difficulties in really nailing down your priorities, nailing down the important things, nailing down how can I move from point A where I am now to point B where I wish to be, feel free to get in touch with me. I will be happy to have a chat with you and see how I could help you or how the group can help you. Feel free to share. But thank you so much so far for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful, and I look forward to speaking with you very, very soon again.